What's up, guys? We are live. How is everyone today? So just let me pull up the chat on a different monitor. We can kind of jump into it. Let's see if we get some people getting in on the chat. We can break it down what we're going to be talking about today. So I hope we are having no issues with lagging, but I won't know till after. If it is lagging, please put it in the comments and let me know. I did have the internet done, so it shouldn't be the internet issuing it if it is lagging. So if we are lagging, somebody let me know in the comments. Other than that, let's hope we're all good and going straight into it. So as the title says, to make money in the stock market, you need patience like a Jedi. And the trade I'm going to break down for you is PETZ. Today I traded this one. You kind of needed patience, so hence the title. So I'm going to break that down as best I can for you. Let's wait to see, do we get a few more people in, and we'll jump straight into the action. So today hasn't been too bad in terms of stock choice. There was a few runners. This is a DSS as well. 12 million float had news. PETZ 2.8 million. It has news. So we were okay on the selection. And we'll jump into the breakdown. Just let me give it a couple more minutes to see who's jumping in here. If we are lagging, please let me know. That would help. Because if it is lagging, then I'm going to have to switch software, because it's definitely not the internet. The internet is really strong now. I got this booster to boost it around the house, and it's actually plugged cable directly into the laptop now. Or it could be the laptop could just be shit and I need a new one. So guys, before we kind of break down the stock as well, if you are thinking of taking the mentoring packages I offer, they, like I said last week, they are filling up, nearly full for March, and we're only kind of starting March out. So if you are thinking of taking that, do message me or email me, and I'll get you sorted out with prices and things like that as well. If you are new on Instagram, make sure you follow me. The link is in the description below. Go check it out. Okay guys, let's jump in straight away and let's start breaking this puppy down. I'll just put myself in the corner. So, here we are. PETZ. Now, I wasn't looking at this morning when the market opened. So, I was actually looking at, where is it? DSS. And that's where my attention was on that one. And also, I don't have the other one on my list that I was watching. Anyways, so I wasn't looking at this initially out the gate. But let me just kind of break down as simple as I can for you the entries and the exits. You see up here as well where I traded it, the entry and exit arrows are added on the charts now. So I figured out how to do that as well, so I could show you the entries and exits. The other ones, I didn't have them on it because I use a different chart, but now I can just drag this over, so we're all good. So, entry number one, obviously here, pre-market break. If you're watching this in the start, we're flagging out here. It opens, it gets huge volume at the gate. That's entry number one. If you're in it, again, I didn't trade this entry, but just to break it down for beginners, that is a big entry there on pre-market break. Just under the 150 mark. So we had a huge spike in volume. We hit highs of just under $2, and this is a common pattern I talk about all the time. Yes, it's a flag pattern, but you don't know it's a flag pattern until it forms. But how you trade this particular move, it's quite simple. When you have a huge push up with volume, you hit highs, you're going to have a retracement. Now, when the candle retraces with fierce volume, like this red one did, what that is if you catch it 50% of the body of the previous candle, that's an entry on a trade. It's just a technique used how to read Japanese candles correctly. This is one of them. in a momentum trade strategy as well. It's 50% body of the previous candle if we hold. We did hold that, and that is an entry. It's just a hotkey entry. You're in, and then you hope to get that whip straight back up. It's a tactic I use many times. I didn't use it in this case. I wasn't actually paying attention to this trade until later on when I break it down for you. But that's a common tactic to use. Bear in mind, they sometimes can crack down. They don't always work. But say 7 out of 10, you will get the job done with this. So it is quite successful once the momentum keeps coming in. If it buckles out of it, well, then it's just going to curl over and crumble. So, like I said, that is a basic tactic to use. Pull back 50% of the retracement of the previous candle. Boom, we're up. Okay, so where you'd be looking at this stock, again, you could be looking at the whole dollar. For some reason, my charts are cut off, so you can't actually see the prices. I don't know why. So this right here is $2. This line is that, okay? Because my charts for this side of the chart seem to be cut off from the screen recording. So again, teething problems, guys. We're going to get there. We're going to get there for you guys. So $2 here is the resistance. Now, typical entry on this is if I bought here through the pullback, I would be planning on selling through the break. At least half my position through that break of 2. Selling into strength. Another tactic you can use is buying the breakout. Although not always as successful, has a higher fail rate than it would. I'll rephrase that. Buying supports have a higher fail rate, but your risk is a lot less. Buying breakouts is you're buying into momentum, so the breakout is possibly already going through on the momentum, so you're getting on the move when it's moving, but your returns won't be as strong because the move is potentially coming to an end. You might only get 5 or 10 cents and it whips back down, a false breakout, many of other things, but the meat of the move is here before the break. Excuse me. But like, one of the other tactics is, like I said, buying the breakout at $2. Here we're jumping in on the break of 2. When I say we, I mean us. Like, we're a team I'm talking about. I didn't trade this breakout, but I'm breaking it down as simple as I can for you. Someone did comment the other day, why am I breaking it down if I didn't trade it? That's a stupid question to ask, because there's millions of people out there who did trade it and potentially lost money on it, or they didn't trade it and they want to have a breakdown. There's people there who need to understand this, so why not take the time out of the day to break it down? It's not rocket science. So break it 2 and you push up. Now, this is where I started to see it. And I started to pay attention to it. So, this is why I named the title of the video. To make money in the stock market, you need patience like a Jedi. This is why. So, we're hitting highs of 250 is the highest here, okay? Again, I apologize, the price action isn't on it, but this is a 250 high this time of day. Just under. So we're flagging out a little bit overextended on the 2 minutes. Again, we would have been more overextended on the 5 minute, but we are flagging. Now, you could have, silly, if you were a little bit silly, you could have got the entrance of a 251 break, but I'd never suggest that when there's this much room to pull back. When it's overextended off a big push, it has to retrace back in. So I'd never suggest getting in at the break of 250 if this just kept breaking and pushing up. So I was looking at it here, we're flagging it under the 250. If the EMAs did catch up with it and it was holding a little, it was holding and consolidating more to the side, and the EMAs caught up right on time with it, then I'd probably consider a potential break of 250. But it was looking weak with all these wicks. Again, simple reading of a candle. All these wicks are signs of rejection at the 250 mark. So showing weakness. So I wasn't interested here, but I knew 2 is a psychological support of the whole dollar. Again, as like resistance, it would be. It's a whole dollar. It's a big number. It's important for it to hold. And on the 5 minute, it was coming up to the EMA was about here on the 5 minute. If I switched over, I'm going to lose my chart. I'm going to have to reset my charts if I switch just to zooming in. So I'll show you just before I finish the video. So the EMAs on the 5 minute were getting close to the $2 mark. So I actually got filled here at 198 or 199. I got filled just through the break of the $2. So I jumped in here. And again, I jumped in with a starter position. I thought that we would have pulled back to, honestly, I thought we would have pulled back to about 190, 195, but we didn't. So we held and it wicked back up. Now, normally on a position like this is when it wicks down, you get filled. You want to see the meat of the move buckle up and start to retest highs, but we didn't. So why I sold here, I didn't sell half. I actually covered all of it, because I was reading the level 2 solely and the volume that was coming into it, and it was looking weak through the break of VWAP. So what you'd be hoping for here is a U break of VWAP and continue back up, but the plan was to retest highs. Now plans don't always work, and you have to be quick enough to read it in time to make a decision on that. So a kind of beginner's mistake is, oh, here I'm buying here and I want to sell here, and I'm waiting for it to sell there. And 9 times out of 10 you won't, and it buckle down and you're in the shit, you take a red trade. So you have to be reading level 2's time and sales and volume when you're in a trade. It's as simple as that. I do have videos on all of them, what I just named, so you can go check them out, or other people have really great example videos to show you level 2's time and sales, stuff like that. Go check them out. So that's why I decided to cover into this. Also, if you heard me talk about last week, is I never usually buy the first break of VWAP. So when we pull back and we get a test of VWAP, I said it in my last week's video, I don't buy the first break. It's as simple as, because the first break always usually gets rejected. So, and then if this had stuck up, the second break, or depending if it was making lower highs, it would have potentially gone through VWAP. But the first break, I usually never would buy through the first break of VWAP. I bought down here and I sold into the push of the VWAP. See, I didn't sell right under the VWAP. I sold into the push. The volume was coming in, but we didn't have enough volume coming in, and the level 2s looked like a couple of walls thrown up. So it was simple. I exited the trade. It wasn't the perfect plan. It didn't meet my plan, but that's okay. We still got out of the trade green. We got a 15 or 16 cent gain. So it's not too bad. So we got 12, 5, 10. We got about a 8% move. I'm guessing. About an 8% gain it would be, yeah. Roughly. 15. Sorry. It would be a 15% gain. My bad. 15 cents. No, it'd be... Anyways, I'm getting confused with the maths. I'm talking to myself. So, it wasn't the perfect... It didn't meet the perfect plan, but we have to be sharp enough and we have to be thinking on the spot to potentially cover our asses here. And it's just patience. I could have gotten the trade up here. The whole point of the video is this. I could have gotten the trade up here, being impatient, or the break of the 250. It's just... You draw your trend lines and you wait for it to pull back. If it doesn't pull back and meet your criteria, it's simple. We don't trade. We have to be disciplined enough to say what we mean and do what we do. It's simple as that. There it is. We need to pull back. Now we're getting in and now we push up. If it doesn't, then it had have just pulled back a little bit and then broke through 250. Well, then we're reverting our game plan to potentially enter on that push up. But it's 1,000,001 different scenarios. But we just need patience. It is key. Guys, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, as always. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. Once again, I want to thank you so much for your support. And we're going live tomorrow and Thursday as well, so stay tuned for those live videos. If you do want me to cover any stocks, be sure to put them in the comments below, and I'll have a look over them, break them down for you as best I can, and make it a lot more simple for you. As well, guys, just to remind you, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, make sure you go check it out. We'll be doing an Instagram giveaway on Friday, I think. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Once again, guys, good night and God bless.